Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today, it is all about how to grow and care for the Queen Victoria Agave. The Queen Victoria Agave is a popular succulent plant native to the rocky canyons of Coahuila, Durango, and Nuevo Leon in Mexico. It has broad, sword-like leaves and grows up to 3 feet tall and about just as wide. However, growth is slow, and it takes a long time for this succulent to reach its ultimate height. The leaves are arranged in rosettes that present without a stem. They grow symmetrically, forming a complete globe when fully developed. Each leaf is variegated with long, thin white variegation that runs erratically along its length. Contrasted with the rich green natural color of the leaves, this results in muted beauty that's unique. Flowering occurs several years after the plant matures. However, the parent plant usually dies afterward, so remember to propagate it beforehand. It is one of the most valued species of agave in horticulture. Like most succulents, the Queen Victoria Agave prefers full sun exposure. However, it can also do well in some light shade if necessary. Depending on your location, you might want to protect it from the afternoon sun. Overly harsh sunlight can cause sunburn in indoor plants. Water thoroughly from spring to fall, but only when the soil feels completely dry to the touch. Overwatering will quickly kill this succulent. Reduce watering in winter. Drill holes in the container to facilitate fast drainage. This succulent can survive in extreme conditions. In its natural habitat, it has to deal with below freezing, as well as scorching hot temperatures. Houseplants are not quite as hardy, but some of that same stubbornness does translate over to them as well. The optimal temperatures range is between 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Like other succulents, this agave does not need much humidity to thrive. The drier the better. Average room levels of moisture are usually fine. In the growing season from spring through fall, fertilize Queen Victoria Agave with a succulent or cactus fertilizer diluted to half strength. Don't overfeed. Once every other month is more than enough. This agave can be propagated by offsets or seeds. One of the easiest ways to propagate this succulent is by removing offsets or small pups that grow around the base of the plant. These can be carefully removed with a sharp knife and replanted in soil. Allow them to dry out for a day or two, then plant them in a fresh pot. Water well and keep them warm and wait for the offshoots to take root. The seeds can also propagate this plant and can be started either in pots or directly in the ground. First, sow them just below the soil's surface and keep them moist until they germinate, which should take about 2 weeks. Once they've sprouted, wait a few weeks before replanting them in a fresh pot. When potting or repotting Queen Victoria Agave, use a pot with drainage holes and a soil mix specifically for succulents. You can buy pre-made mixes or make your own by combining 2 parts potting soil, 1 part perlite, and 1 part sand. The plant doesn't need a lot of room, so you can keep it in a small pot for a while. When it starts to outgrow its pot, repot into a container that's 1 size larger. Don't overpot the succulent, as the extra space is only an invitation for mealybugs. When repotting, carefully remove the plant from the old pot and loosen the roots before planting it in the new pot. Backfill with the soil mix and water well. The Queen Victoria Agave is non-toxic to humans and pets. This agave is prone to mealybugs and scale insects. Adult scale insects are covered in waxy, shell-like covers, and there are more than 25 species of scale insects. They feed themselves by sucking sap from plants, weakening the plants and causing damage to them. Always inspect any new plant for pests before introducing it to your home or garden. Provide good ventilation and avoid overwatering as the first step of defense against these pests. You can treat an infestation with an insecticidal soap spray or dab it with rubbing alcohol. But if the issue is severe, you might want to contact a professional.